up, guys? So today's video is going to be somewhat of a very serious topic. I have never talked about this before on any of my channels, any of my Instagram lives, YouNows, any of that, because I am so scared to tell this story. So please be nice in the comments. I know I'm going to get hate. I mean, I get hate on like all my videos anyway, but I'm just gonna try and be vulnerable. I'm gonna try and keep this like semi lighthearted, but as you can tell by the title of this video, yeah, I've gone through some shit, okay? If you guys are new, I do have a family vlogging channel where I vlog with all of my family. I'll have a link or iCard apparently link down below, so you guys can go and check that out. But I'm gonna go ahead and get right on into this story time. All right, guys, sorry if my camera is adjusting. I had to delete some footage because I was running out of storage, so it's like going back to like white because it's adjusting to the light. I definitely didn't even plan on making this video. I actually just made another video. I just felt like I needed to come on here and just explain everything. Explain literally why my life is the way it is right now. It literally comes down to this moment. So, here we go. I don't know why I feel like crying because honestly, I've never really dealt with this. Like, I didn't really deal with the pain, and I'll explain all of that. A lot of you guys were asking, explaining why Lacey wasn't such a surprise, like to explain more in detail about that. So that's what I'm coming on here to talk about. Okay, usually my videos are a lot more lighthearted and funny. I'm gonna try, but it is kind of like more serious. So anyways, let's just go ahead and get into it. So if you guys aren't familiar with me, my name is Elle, and I got pregnant when I was 16 years old. I had my daughter a month after I turned 17, and her name is Lacey Marie. This channel is all about like my story times about that and just like getting to know me on like a personal level. I have a family vlogging channel you guys can check out as well. I'll have it linked like I said earlier. I met her dad when I was 15 years old, and I met him at a 4th of July gathering. I've kind of talked briefly about this. I met him at a 4th of July gathering. Basically, long story short, we ended up dating and getting together. Now, he was the second guy I've ever been with, and I was his first. So, you know, we weren't really that educated, and honestly, we were just so in love with each other. Knowing that, I also grew up in a house where sex wasn't really talked about. It was like taboo, like no one talked about it. I remember like my brothers always sneaking girls in and like me like listening and hearing them have, mainly one brother, but if you guys know me in real life, y'all know who I'm talking about. But I was always like interested, and it's really weird because even from like a young age, I was like sexually molested. We're not gonna talk about that, but from a young age I've always known about it, but I never had like really experienced that until around this time. So Graham was the second person that I'd ever been with, and we knew about sex, we knew about sex education, we learned about it in school, but it was never like, it wasn't something that was like easy to talk about like with anyone for both of us. It was kind of like a new thing, new and exciting, and so that's what ended up happening is we had sex, and we had a lot of it. We were little rabbits, and that blossomed into something very fast, like very quickly. I think we had been dating for like 2 months or something. We started talking in July, and we ended up started dating in October, and like 2 months later is when we like started having sex. So I don't know, a while. By the way, if you're family, please click out of this. This is TMI, but this is what this channel is all about. So, and I feel like it's great to tell my story because if there's other kids going through this or like other teen moms or anything, I feel like it's great to connect with someone and just share a piece of that and just let you guys know that you're not alone. So, sorry, I'm like so itchy. I think I'm like getting nervous about this. Basically, long story short, we ended up having sex and oh my god, I have butterflies. What you guys don't know, I don't know why I'm about to start crying. Oh my god, my family doesn't know. I think maybe I've told a few people, like some of my friends, but I actually had a miscarriage before I had Lacey. We had been using protected sex. We were using condoms, and then I somehow got pregnant. Obviously, when you have sex, you have a baby, and you'd think by now I'd know how a baby is formed nowadays, but my last one was unexpected too. But anyways, so we were using condoms, we were using protected sex, and I did get pregnant. And I got pregnant, like pregnant. And that was like the first reaction and the first like shock. Like, holy shit, I'm freaking pregnant. I was shocked. I was freaking out. You'd think that I would have learned my lesson. But I got pregnant, and I remember I took a digital and it said pregnant on it. I was for sure pregnant, and I was scared shitless, and that was pretty much that. And I remember I wanted to wait until I was further along to tell my mom, so that's what I did. I didn't tell her, and I just kind of kept it to myself and Graham, and we were the only people who knew. A few weeks later, I'd still not told my mom. I was way too worried. I was scared, but I was also starting to get scared because I was like losing my symptoms. So I was starting to not be as tired as much. I was starting to not be as nauseous as much. I was starting to not feel pregnant. Like, I already didn't feel pregnant. I was just like so in shock. But I remember that feeling of just like something's gonna go wrong, and I just kept going on about it. My period was supposed to come. I missed it, so I knew that I was for sure pregnant. That's when I took the test, and I just kind of let things go on. And I want to say a couple days later, honestly it was so long ago, I don't really remember, but a week or two went by, and I'm bleeding. And it's a lot of blood, and I just knew that like I was not pregnant anymore. I didn't have the baby anymore. And at that point, me and Graham were starting to get excited. We were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a baby together. Like, we made this baby. It's me and you, and like we are actually in love. And yeah, this is gonna be really freaking hard, but we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it together. Honestly, at that time, I didn't feel anything, which is really, I feel like it's really sad. I don't know if it's just because of how young I was. I don't know if I would feel that same way today if I were to like have another miscarriage, but I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like a mom. I didn't feel like I was like in so much pain over this child. I just knew that I was longing for that again. I wanted that connection again. Okay, sorry again, I had to move the camera once again, and the lighting's adjusting. I think what I left off was I just wanted that feeling again. I wanted to feel like I was going to be a mom. I wanted this big happy family. That picture was in my mind already. That's when we started using unprotected sex. And that's why I say I am so stupid. Not because, obviously, I have a child now. I am so happy she's here, and I love her with all my heart. But that was just a very stupid decision on my part to just go about it so irresponsibly and like kind of intentionally try and have a baby that young, which is very common for young teenagers. I don't promote it if you are not financially stable, and if you are not, you know, in a very healthy relationship, a marriage, whatever you go by that, you know, you feel okay to have one. But there are a lot of people. I am so lucky Graham has still stayed with me through all of this, because I couldn't imagine doing it alone, especially that young, and doing all that I did, going to high school, figuring out all of like Lacey's like life choices, and doing that all alone. I have no idea how I do that. So props to all of you single mamas, single teen mamas that are doing it alone, I literally like praise you. Like, girl, you're doing the damn thing. So I just want to say that because I couldn't imagine doing it alone. It's insane that that was my mind process. Now, obviously, Wolf wasn't planned, but he wasn't not planned. It was kind of like, whatever happens, but I was still like shocked as hell because that was like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm so shocked every single time. Like, it was kind of like an whatever, oopsie, okay, whatever. But I was very, very much ready for him. I was also a teenager then. I was 19. But at that point, I had been married, and I got married when I was 17. So if you guys want a story time on that, let me know. I can do one of those. Yeah, I wasn't legal to get married, but it's a long story. So let me know if you guys want me to make a story about that. Yeah, I had a miscarriage. I just remember there was so much blood. There was so much blood. And I didn't ever bring it up to my mom. Like, my mom doesn't know. She still, to this point, doesn't know. But I did bring it up to my doctor because I was so worried that, like, I've heard horror stories of, like, you not passing the baby fully and, like, there's stuff inside of you. And I was pregnant with Lacey, so I was, like, freaking out that, like, something was gonna happen to her. I asked the doctor and I told them that, like, I did have a miscarriage and that it was, like I had the miscarriage. And they said that it was an early miscarriage or it could have been a chemical pregnancy, and I just didn't lose the baby until after, like, it had been in me a while, and then I passed it after it had been in me for a while. But I don't remember seeing, like, a plop of tissue, so that's good because I do think that would have, like, scarred me for life. I just remember there being lots of clots and a lot of blood. Anyways, yeah, that's the story on why Lacey wasn't that much of a surprise. We were having unprotected sex, and it's not like we were necessarily like, oh yeah, like, let's get a baby, but I just kind of wanted it to happen, but I wanted it to happen on its own and not, like, so, like, forced. But, like, I did want it. I wanted to get pregnant. And we were having unprotected sex, and I'm pretty sure, like, he still pulled out, but there was probably an oopsie once or twice, and that's why I got pregnant. So anyways, that is my story on having a miscarriage at 15. Whew, I never thought I would share that story ever. Please be nice in the comments. I know I am very stupid. Like, you don't have to tell me that, but I can at least say that I'm very successful where I'm at now, and it's not like anyone ever provided for me. Anyways, that's my story. This was so not expected. That's why I look like this right now. But anyways, make sure you subscribed. And I will talk to you guys another time. All right, bye guys.